Alright. Hey everybody. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing relatively alright. I got some things finalized and situated, so hopefully things aren't gonna turn out too badly for a little while, but yeah, we're back on Unsighted, because I like this game and I want to keep playing it. So, if memory serves, we just got the second crystal thing, and we got this other pupper, who I don't think is even on max affection yet. And I will keep petting this poodle until the poodle loves me. I have to keep petting the poodle until the poodle loves me. Keep petting. Keep petting. Alright, I think 2's the max here. Unless I take him with me. But I should probably put the dog in the doghouse. But yeah. I remember I got lost pretty badly in the previous stream I did of this, but we managed to figure out our way in the end. Alma, you found another one. Thank you. Hope to finish my little project here by the time you bring another one. Hey, I'll take more bolts. Alright, now which house does this one stay in? Okay, stays in that one. Now, with that done, the third crystal is that way. Oh boy, Let's see, so the boss room I fought was in that area. So my next course of action, I haven't gone that way yet, so I might need to do that. Because the third crystal is underground, like really underground. So I should do that, methinks. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Should I take Zeppelin with me? Sure, let's take Zeppelin with me. Sorry, Floyd, but I've already maxed your hearts out. I already maxed out your hearts. Sorry, dude. I wanna max out Floyd's. I mean, not Floyd's, Zeppelin's. Let's see. We had meteor dust that we found. Oh, I can unlock a new chip slot. Hell yeah, let's do that. Now the other thing. Power chip. Jumper. Drop items more frequently. I haven't been using the syringes that much, so I'm not going to be too concerned about that. Life points. I could use your can't use syringes. Ugh, no. I'll just boost myself by 1. That works. That works for me. Alright. So our next course of action... Pet the dog, and... teleport to... Let's see what is this way, because see something that's new. But yeah, we got a new traversal thing that we can finally break all those big-ass blocks with. It's this thing, this Zelda Twilight Princess spinner. Oh, I'm so happy to have that. It's actually really nice. Okay. That was a bad move. You doing alright? I'm doing better. Are you late? No, you are not late, Combo. You arrived just in time for me to keep falling off the track. But, yeah, to answer your question, I'm doing better. The school situation is being, well, I've got a plan for it, and, things hopefully should work out soon, because my professors were all completely understanding of the fact, too. Like, they could kind of see that despite my diligence, I was struggling a fair bit in some ways during class. So I'm glad that at least there were no hard feelings there. And yeah, essentially, I'm just glad that my education stuff is not looking as bleak as I thought it would be. Now, how do I get to that? With the treasure. Hey, Raze. It has been a hot minute since I've seen you here. Dude. It has been a minute. Have you ever played Twilight Princess? Yes. Kind of can't... Well, I shouldn't say you can't be, but as a fan of the Zelda franchise on the Nintendo systems, I am indeed, I know of Twilight Princess, yes. Oh, wait, I think I see what I'm doing. Not lots of free time nowadays. I feel that. But yes, I did play Twilight Princess. And if any of you are wondering, my favorite Zelda game is Wind Waker, for those that are curious about that. Did I just hop? Eh? That was weird. That's what I was looking to do. But yeah, good to see you again. Good to see you again, Raze. It has been a hot second since I last seen you in the chat. But yeah, this definitely gives me Twilight Princess vibes because of the spinny top thing you get in that game. Let's see. Yeah, keep moving this way. Why did I do that? It's too fun to keep jumping. It's too fun to jump around, jump up, and get down. But yeah, I stated it when I started this game, actually, that this game definitely takes a lot of Zelda-like inspirations from the ticking clock element with the NPCs and the going unsighted mechanic, if you decide to go for that, which some probably wouldn't because they'd be too anxious about exploring and not finding all of the appropriate stuff, which is fair, because... yeah, there's a reason I turned it off, is because I like exploring, and I want to take my time and comb through the area. And if I'm being punished for combing through the area, then it's gonna it's gonna not encourage that behavior from me. Basically, the mode that I'm talking about is good for people that know the game already, to some extent. But yes, it is nice. How have you been, Raze? Because, as I said, it has been a hot second since we've last seen you here. You're good? Good. Glad to hear it. Aha, you got GF. Good to know. Happy for you, man. Plus, you live in the capitals. Ah, so you're starting to go up in life. Happy to hear it. Happy to hear it, I say as I crunch my controller in petty rage. Freedom Convoy's making my life hell. Oh, yeah, because I hear Canada is going through some major, like, weren't there major riots going on the Canadian-American border? Like, again, my knowledge of the political situation in Canada is not very broad, because I am American, therefore we are ignorant of a lot of things. Oh, it started in your city? Jeez, yeah, I haven't experienced that, but I haven't experienced that myself, but I do have a family member that did experience something relatively similar. So my uncle, so fun fact, my uncle in Minnesota, which is like a northern state in the US, it's actually a southern neighbor of Canada. He works, I believe, in the courthouse in Minneapolis. And Minneapolis courthouse in 2020 is kind of, you know, a particular thing that happened in Minneapolis in 2020. So my uncle had to see a lot of armed guards during his workplace, so that was a very, very harrowing time for him, and I can imagine how exhausting it was. God damn it. The processors basically gridlocked the city for the past 3 weeks. Ugh, God. That must suck when you're getting just roped into all sorts of bullshit when all you need to do is just grab some groceries or something. Hey, babe, you want me to get you, like, a Cornetto ice cream thing? Meanwhile, you're being blockaded by people that are like, Cornetto ice creams are awful for you and all that. And it's like, God damn it, I just wanted to get an ice cream. But yeah, I can imagine that it's not fun to have to live in an area that's going under some major turmoil. I mean, I couldn't imagine what it would have been like for people who lived in the DC area at the time of the January 6th Capitol storming. Bigger than that? Yeah, I can imagine. There's more people? Yeah, and it's about the mask mandates, right? Like, is that what the deal is? Again, I don't know the exact, you know, reasoning, but isn't it over the mask mandates? That's why the protests are happening, or is it some other reason? Okay. So it is the mask mandates. The fact that we have to very heavy vaccine requirements. I've talked about this a couple times before, but I remember hearing about, like, past... Oh. Well, that would explain why I couldn't go to the... Alright. That would explain why I wasn't able to get there before. People have lost their jobs because of it. I've talked about it before, about how absolutely head-scratching it is to see people work in industries, and those industries are very health conscious, and and then they act like shocked that a mask and vaccination mandate happens, and it's like, really? Like, a friend of mine, one of my best pals who lives in New York, her sister's a nurse, and her sister is anti-vax despite being a nurse, and I'm like, what? For what? What? I don't know. It just, you see all this kind of closed-mindedness that you never would expect out of certain people working in certain industries, you know? Like, I just don't get it. But trying to read people's thoughts on that matter is not really what I'm here to do. What I'm here to do is chill out, talk to you guys, and play some video games. And pet the dog. Always pet the dog. Okay, so nah, you're fine, man. Like, I'm just happy to hear from you, because it's been a hot minute since we last chatted. But yeah, go grab a beer, hang out here. If we can be a safe spot for you to chill and decompress for a while, that's fine. It's what I'm happy to be. Or happy to do, rather. Already got a beer? Nice. Crack open a cold one and hang out with the bros. With the dudes. I like this music, by the way. Yes, this music's very jazz heavy. And to catch up to speed, Raze, since it has been a hot minute since you've been here, this game is called Unsighted. It's a game where you play as this android named Alma, and her goal is essentially to make it to this one spire in the middle of this meteor-destroyed area that has a bunch of robots that have gone crazy, or unsighted as they call them. And the best way I can describe it is that it's Zelda mixed with a bit of Souls-like and some Metroidvania elements. And the big selling point that I would say that comes with this game is, one, it plays really nicely. Two, has nice sounding jazz music. Like, I need to take you to this particular area because the music there is like perfect. But the major draw of this game is the time management mechanic. So, it's a tad faded out, but do you see the number below that says 179 hours remaining? Every NPC and the main character has a timer below their name, and that timer essentially ticks down in-game time how long a particular character has until they go crazy, until they go unsighted. And you have means of being able to reverse that. You have this meteor dust over here. And when you use this meteor dust, you increase the person's time by 24 hours. But there is a ticking clock element to this game that you have to think, okay, do I risk... because a lot of things can cause time to pass. Exploring, dying, going through a dungeon, fighting. Like, time does pass, and you can't get that time back unless it's with these dusts. So, like, here's an example. There's a character in the game that's like, hey, I'm making a really good weapon, and I hope to have the time to actually be able to finish it because it's going to take a while. And the timer below them would say 70 hours. So you think to yourself, okay, do I give them this meteor dust now to how much time can I willingly spend to go search for more meteor dust or be able to get one of the crystals I need before this runs out? Or should I just do it now so that they survive for a bit longer? Because you do have a limited quantity of however much meteor dust you can get. And, you know, it's only 24 hours. It's not that big of a boost. Kind of like Darkest Dungeon. I have not played Darkest Dungeon, but I will take your word for it. Anyway, Raze, you want to hear what my favorite track in this game is so far? But yeah, this area has easily my favorite track in the game so far. I love this kind of jazz. It just, Playing DS3 and watching at the same time? That's fine. Take up your Elden Ring copium. Oh my god, combo, that's fantastic. Like, that's actually really good. I was messing around on Dreams and made this gif of an emoji dude endlessly punching the screen with a caption, "He fucking you up, what do you do?" That's fantastic. It's not showing it as a gif, but that is fantastic. That is great. You're excited for Elden Ring? Yeah, a lot of people are. And I've explained before about my kind of meh-ness towards Souls games, but I'm happy for people that are happy about that game. I just have other games that I'm a tad more excited about. Oh, and the other thing is that this game has, like, parry mechanics as well. Like, you gotta time your parries correctly, you can deflect bullets by attacking them or parrying them. There's a lot of cool stuff. It's not just a GIF. It's not a GIF. I made a pic. I'm excited for it too, but I don't have a PS5. Laughs in PS5 ownership. Oh yeah, that's the other thing you missed, Rays. I'm a proud member of the PS5 Owners Club. Yeah, I got lucky enough to be able to get a PS5, and my first game for it was Returnal. I feel bad going out of that suburbs area because, my god, the music in there is awesome. It's so good. Love that music. Feed the dog. I hear another pupper. I hear another puppy. Or is that Zeppelin? It's Zeppelin. Okay, I was like, is there another dog around here? No, it's just Zeppelin. And yes, I named him Zeppelin because the last dog I named Floyd after Pink Floyd. So this dog I named Zeppelin after Led Zeppelin. I've kind of... If I ever if I ever got to own dogs of my own, I would most likely name them after some of my favorite bands. Because I'm a basic bitch like that. I'm a very basic person like that. Although certain names might sound a tad more awkward than others, like I don't imagine naming a dog Ronkators would roll off the tongue very well. Or Mystery Skulls, for that matter, or Nice on the PS5. Yeah, I believe me, I do not take it for granted. I recognize that I got insanely lucky with mine. Like, I recognize that I got very lucky with my acquisition of a PS5. So, yeah. I think Elden Ring will 100% be a game which changes people's views on Souls. Right. I don't doubt that. It's just... I just have other games that I'm more interested in. Like, I'm not saying that Souls isn't fun or isn't interesting or isn't something that can't... There's only just so much of one particular game that I feel like I can talk about before I just hear the same conversations about it over and over. You know what I mean? Like, again, I'm not trying to say, like, oh, don't talk about Souls on here. You can. It's just... Don't expect me to contribute too much to the conversation. Why did I do that again? What? That was throw. That's right. That's fair? Yeah. Like, it's not a... I'm not saying that I hate the Souls games. Far from it. It's just... I don't know. I've discovered other games that I like just as much, if not more, than my time spent with games like Bloodborne and Dark Souls. So I wanted to be able to express those. Like, I can't shut up about Disco Elysium or Dragon Quest, you know, things like that. Or some other games that coming out this year that I'm interested in, like there's this one life sim game that drew my attention recently. It's a smaller indie game. My GF has gotten me into Final Fantasy VII. Like the original one or the remake? Because, man, part of me is kind of wanted to retry playing FF7 Remake on the PS5 to see how much more of a different experience it is. The remake, yeah, makes sense, because that remake definitely has ignited the passion of FF7 for a lot of people, and to some might have reignited it more so. I didn't have that experience because, well, I played the remake, but I've never played the original 7. Probably play the original eventually. Well, I mean, the game's kind of like Resident Evil 4. It's available on almost everything. Give it time and you'll probably find it available on the Google Glasses or some bullshit like that. What's up with the temperature? It's freezing. Oh, dang, she thick. It's Maria. She's here guarding the Meteor Shard. One of the oldest automations around here. Oh, so the other thing that I remember is that humans bad in this game, because, of course. But, apparently humans aren't, like, around anymore. And due to the automations not being, like, how do I put this? So humans created the automations, and then the automations began to gain their sense of sentience when a meteor crashed down and gave them the ability of free thinking. Like, automations had no ability to think for themselves prior to the meteor falling. And then after the meteor fell, they were like, hey, the robots were like, okay, what is our purpose? Why are we doing all this? And instead of saying pass butter like a dick, they were like, well, you don't know. And then a war happened because humans and robots cannot get along in a future setting, no matter what setting, no matter how, it go. And shit. And then after that big war happened, something changed in the meteor, and this kind of strange miasmic, like, stuff appeared and started wreaking havoc on the automations. And now the automations' time is running out because they need the stuff from the meteor to stay as sentient as they are. It's kind of like it is essentially a reliance that they have to have, because if they do that, because if they keep up with the anima stuff that they have, they'll be able to stay sane. But once that stuff runs out, hence the time mechanic that I talked about, they'll go insane. They'll go unsighted. It's essentially like if instead of it being a flag by boss scenario, going hollow was something you had to keep in mind every step of the way. Does that make sense? Like, if, like, when that chainmail guy at the start of Dark Souls 1, he goes hollow in New Londo. And when you see him go hollow, you're like, okay, it happens after a certain point in the game. Like, it happens after a boss fight of some kind. Or for Solaire, it'd be like, okay, he goes hollow after blank time point. Excuse me, I had a burp there. Whereas here, it's like, no, if they have a time, they go hollow, and you have to prevent that ASAP. Like, you have the power to prevent it, but the problem is if you're willing to take your time and, keep it from happening. So, yeah. That is the major difference that I see here. And honestly, I actually kind of like that I actually like that idea of having the time mechanic keep you on your toes and make sure you want to keep your characters that you want to keep alive, sane. It's just the only thing is that with this time mechanic, you have to know the game I imagine you'd have to know the game relatively well before you actually could go, okay, I know the route to X dungeon, or I know how to get this meteor dust, so I'll be able to save this NPC for a good amount of time so they can do this thing for me. So, yeah. That is the general vibe that I get off of this mechanic. And it's a cool one. I like it. It's a cool mechanic. Gib dog treat. Gib dog pet. But yeah, the other dog that we got in the first dungeon was a corgi. So let's see. Oh god, now that I have that spinner, I really want to go to the first area and just break open all those fucking bricks that were blocking my way. Oh, that's gonna be so satisfying to do. That's gonna feel good. I cannot tell you how long I've waited to do that. Alright. But yeah, you do gain things like crafting materials because, frankly, a game without crafting feels like a game without petting the dog. Alright, let's buy some disposable syringes. Actually, how many hours did it say you had left? Because despite turning it off, I can still mess with the time a little bit to be like, hey, here's the meteor dust. Enjoy your next 24 hours that you now have. Ah, that's right. It's the elevator section here. God, I love this music. So good. Man, Zeppelin, you're kicking ass. It's my good kick-ass poodle. But yeah, the primary thing that, well, one of the things that drew my attention to this game was the graphical style, because this game looks fucking good. Like, the way that the character sprites are done and everything, it's really nice. I like it a lot. Okay, I can't shoot at that. Oh, we've got... Oh, God, I can't remember all of the areas that that are opened up now. Oh, good. Oh, good God, I can't remember. Everything just is opened up now. There we go. There we are. Is this the church area? Oh, no, I know where this is. I know exactly where this is. This is... Oh, he wants to take a nappy. Yeah, that's the other thing, is that if you want these dogs' affections to go up, you gotta give them naps, too. Oh, God. Cogs, attack. Revive. Okay. Yeah, they're not as intimidating when you have the attack cogs on. But yeah, those big things with all the eyes on them, those things started appearing and tearing people apart. Like, all the automations and everything were just being ripped to shreds by those. So, it became important to be like, okay, we need to stay away from these areas because not only are these Unsighted around that are causing problems for us, but we also have these big monsters that are just ripping us apart left and right. So, yeah. That's kind of the general gist of the story. Alright, now, what is this? An axe? That's Raquel's axe. She fought them. Yeah, they're dangerous. Nothing can beat a parry. Yeah, parrying is kind of everything here. Don't touch that. Don't touch it. It's my axe. Why? It's just an axe. It's my axe. Only I get to use it. So heavy though. Why don't you use a sword? The axe is an intimidating weapon. This way I don't have to fight too many humans. They just run away scared, and I prefer not to having to actually kill them. Just making them tremble in fear is one of my... I make them tremble in fear. What's that? You going to cry? Piss your pants, maybe? Maybe shit and come. Plus, I like the way it feels. It works really well for me. Trying to picture me? Just... Aw. Yeah, so these two were definitely an item before everything went wrong. Oh, I can equip her axe? Friendship ended with War Axe. My new best friend is Raquel's axe. God damn! How much damage does the... that would explain it. Well, as powerful as that is, and as cool as that is, I think I'm just going to stick with my flame sword, because I prefer the speed. God damn, though, those numbers. Might save that for one of those big monster guys, because... yeah, that's a lot of damage. No flex tape gonna fix that shit. Okay, museum court... oh, thank God I found that. There we go. And now that we have that, we can loop around there. Then there was this lava spot where we found Zeppelin. We managed to make it to the aquarium. So maybe we ought to just go back. Because I think those were a lot of the major spots in... unless there were... was there one in the suburbs? I don't remember. I think if memory serves correctly... I don't think there were any other roadblocks, so to speak, with those stones. Yeah, can't recall any, so I might as well just go to the aquarium then. Just need to find a terminal. I fucking love this track. It's so good. It's a very nice track. That jump attack's really fun to do. Oh! What is down here? Oh. Passageway up to the clearing. Oh, to the doctor's... Okay. So a spot to the doctor's grave. Okay, good to know. Alright. Let's go back to the aquarium. And I don't think there was anything on the other side of there. Pet dog. Never not pet dog. But yeah, having a little helper in combat's nice. I like it a lot. Dumb bitch. There we are. There we go. Ow, goddamn Molotov loppers. There. Gotcha. There we go. I figure at some point I'll either get a wall running ability or some kind of swim, which I'll get at the aquarium, so we'll see. But yeah, so far I really enjoy this game. I'd say for certain this game is one to keep an eye out on. Because it's a very fun game. It's got a lot of cool mechanics to it, and the time management stuff, though it can be a bit daunting, it's an interesting idea. So, yeah. That is my humble opinion. Oh, excuse me, I had to stretch my back. Okay, so we just got that elevator done. Yeah, there's actually nothing else I can put out. Exploration log 4005. We've just arrived at the aquarium. It seems that everyone here went unsighted. We'll be looking for Maria, the frost automation. We are almost sure she'll still be in possession of the shard. Our ice temple. Oh, ice temple with an already slidey kind of thing with the, Oh god, I've already got a slidey type control scheme with the spinner, so... Oh, this is gonna be fun. This is going to be fantastic, everybody. I can tell already. Ah! I cannot believe I managed I cannot believe I managed to not fall there. That was weird. Exploration log 4011. The situation here is critical. The entire aquarium has been frozen. The only automation capable of such a thing would be Maria herself. She has probably gone unsighted at this point, just like the others. We fear that if she escapes from here, she'll freeze the surface as well, risking the entire ecosystem. That's an odd-looking enemy. It's a crab. Okay. Oh, this is cool. You're like traveling through those aquarium tubes. Oh, that's nice. I like that a lot. This is cool. Hello. There we are. Probably gonna see a lot more of those spear guys. Ow. All right. So we've got a puzzle here. Oh no, my brain's so tiny. How can I handle puzzles? There, that's how I handle puzzle. Okay, so this leads into the previous, yeah, the water reservoir. Oh yeah, you wanna know what else exists in this game? Fishing. Crafting, fishing, and petting dogs? Though you don't really fish for fish, you just fish for crafting items, so... yeah. I don't really need anything off of him. Can I jump over those? Ah, I can. Okay. I was worried that the game wouldn't let me jump over those. Just shoot him. There we go. There we are. Okay, so far so good. Easy. Especially with the pupper by my side. Good dog. I have to wonder what kind of dog you'll actually get for the third one, because there's 4 dog houses in the pet store. So, I wonder what kind of dog you'll get next time. Oh boy. Ow! Okay, so 2 is like a third, is close to the middle. Okay, a key. What's this one? 4022. We've suffered many losses here. We weren't ready for this environment and for this many Unsighted. We may not be able to defeat Maria in this state. We'll have to find another solution. Okay, so exploration team went here and we're like, we'll be able to solve the aquarium. And they didn't solve the aquarium and they were like, oh no! I double tapped A by accident.
No! God damn it, no! I can't keep fucking up like that. Yeah.
There we go. There we go. And we'll get that unlocked. And that leads me to... Oh, fun. Ha! Dumbass. Okay, so this one was 2, and over here's 5. Exploration log 4008. There are hints spread all across the aquarium, apparently for some kind of numeric order puzzle. We're taking notes on them. You never know what might be useful. Okay, so 2 was here, 5 was here. I just need to remember these. And I need to get another key, too. Good vicious poodle. Which actually, now that I say that out loud, that sounds like it'd be a really kick-ass band name. Like an alt-rock band name. Hey man, welcome, thank you for letting us perform at your bar. We're Vicious Poodle. I mean, it wouldn't be the strangest band name that I've ever heard. I've heard some weird... I've heard some strange ones in the past. Oh, I was supposed to keep some of the... Oh. If I go back out and back in, do they respawn? Please? Okay, yes. I need to not break every rock. Because, I mean, I remember hearing about a band called Loaded Diaper, and it's spelt as an O with the 2 dots. I think that's called an umlaut. So it's basically Loaded Diaper with an umlaut above it. Alright, that's what I need to do. Then there's an Australian punk band whose music I had actually listened to and thought was kind of nice, was Psychedelic Porn Crumpets. I wish I was making this shit up, but no, it's true. It's quite real. You can re-enter this room to re-evacuate. Okay. Yeah, up. Let's go this way. But yeah, this is what I mean when I say the game feels very Zelda-esque. And I mean that in a good way, mind you. I'm not saying that as a knock. Because, you know, Zelda games are good, so you could be inspired by worse games, like Ride to Hell Retribution. Like, you could essentially try to scientifically engineer the worst video game ever, and you get, like, Ride to Hell Retribution, but worse. Or like a mechanically tone-deaf Devil's Third. Our battle with Maria ended. We weren't able to get the Meteor Shard. With the last of our efforts, we locked her away in the deepest room of the aquarium. She's weakened, and with proper reinforcements, we might be able to defeat her. If someone receives this message, please come back and help us. Don't search crumpets if you have Yeah. Yeah. I find that fear kind of interesting, I guess. Oh, hello. Zoidberg? I didn't know you were in this game. Ow. 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 He keeps sitting on me. Okay, I can't reflect those. Good to know. Okay, I can jump over them at least. Good to know. Ow! Motherfucker. Ooh. But yeah, I've got a chip on that restores my health whenever I damage or kill an enemy, so that's nice to have. Oh, I thought I couldn't recover that in time. Ow. 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 There, one down. Ow. There. Damn it. Well, that wasn't too bad. I at least know what I'm doing now. So yeah, when you die in this game, you get your bolts taken away, and if you have the time mechanic thing on, you lose a pretty hefty chunk of the time that characters have left, main character included. So, yeah, it's the ticking clock element you really have to keep in mind when playing this game. So, yeah, it's not like oh hey, here's us emulating this idea from Majora's Mask. No, this shit is, yeah, you legit need to be careful about this. It's kind of like in the same way when I was playing Disco Elysium, when I just straight up could not do any of the stat checks that I wanted to do because certain events happened in the world. It's the same thing here. The Mind Goblin game.
Ew.
Why do I keep doing that? There we go. Grab those bolts back, because that's also a thing. Alright, now that I know what to do, I won't make as many slip-ups, hopefully. Ow. At least I'm earning a lot of bolts doing this. Get another upgrade to my chip slots. Ow. Alright, at some point I actually think I need a stamina chip to upgrade my stamina. Ow. Alright, that's the other one down. Ow. Okay, that was a bad idea. Why did I run? Why? Why did I do that? Why did I think that was a good idea? What possessed me to think that was the idea there? What do I need? Yes, a giant robotic crab ass to sit on me. Oh, God. I need to... Actually, you know what would be a good idea? Have that. And that. Yep. I need to increase my stamina. The Cuphead show dropped recently. Oh, really? I thought it was further out. I thought the, Really? I would have thought the show was further out from now. Alright, goes to show what I know then. There! We're having crab legs, people. Okay. Are you shitting me? Ice grenade. Use it to create platforms. Oh, so this sees my water thing. Got it. Well, let's equip it here then. Ice grenades. Wait, can ice grenades break these? Oh! Oh, so if I didn't have the spinner, I would have just used the ice grenades to break those open. Oh. So each item has a multi-use function in the world, not just, like, how do I put this? Like, the spinner has use as a block breaker, but it's also good for keeping your movements quickly, or keeping your movements quick. But I didn't expect, like, multiple weapons to do that kind of thing. That's really nice, actually. I legit find that nice. I'm happy the game got a show, and I watched a couple of episodes, but I'd be hooked if they went with the fighting tone from the game. I don't think they even use finger guns. They're still pretty close to Mickey Mouse, so the silly plot isn't a problem. Right, right. I mean, I wasn't imagining that they would probably try to mimic the game one-to-one. What, well, I mean, good for MDHR for being able to, you know, get that whole situation done. Like, not only did they make a wildly successful video game, but they also got a TV show out of it from Netflix. Like, that's really something. Like, the guys took a mortgage out on their home. And the guys took, was it a mortgage or their second mortgage? Like, I know it was something to do with a mortgage, but yeah, they spent a lot of effort to get this game done, and knowing that it paid off for them, it's good for those guys. Good for them. We love to see it. We love to see it. Oh, I see what... I see what I'm meant to do here. Ow. I see what I meant to do here, but can I do it? Ow. Okay. Okay, exploration log 424. After we sealed Maria away, we hid the Thunder Edge inside the power room east of here. In case a brave soul decides to come down here and take her on, take me on, I'll be gone in a day or two. This blade will surely help. It's a gun. You have to reload it. Gotta remember, you have to reload it. And I don't have a key. Wonderful.
I'm gonna be in the middle of the boss fight and not remember that I have to reload the ice grenades. That will happen. I guarantee you. Alright, so where to now? Oh, wait. Ice baby, yeah. We need Vanilla Ice with his well-known stand cream. And actually, speaking of JoJo's, Combo, do you know if it's been said on when the Part 6 anime will have a continuation? Like, when I guess the second half of Part 6 will go up? Because they left on a cliffhanger where it's like Jolene got shot, right? So I'm wondering, like... They haven't? Okay. Yeah, I mean, considering how short of a notice the release of Part 6 kind of was, that doesn't surprise me too much about it. It just means we'll have to wait a bit before we can see that second half. Alright, and that is a key. Yes. God damn it. But yeah, a lot of shows getting their second season announcements happening lately. One of which being the Critical Role animated series, which does not surprise me. But what surprised me is how many people are getting really into the idea of watching it. Like, even my dad, whom did play tabletop games back in the day, back in his ye olde times, like, let me put this in perspective. My dad's sort of D&D experience consists of 2nd edition. So he has not played D&D for a very long time. So when I hear from him being like, hey, I want to watch this Critical Role series because I hear it's really good, my first thought was like, really? Even though you... Really? I guess that just goes to show when you have something good, it doesn't matter the source material, I guess. I mean, the same thing happened with Invincible. How many people now know of Invincible thanks to the TV show? Just, damn. You love to see it, but it's unexpected. Ah, I can't pass there anyway. Never mind then. There we go. Speaking of Invincible, have you heard of the cartoon collection of boys the creators of Invincible are helping with? Cartoon collection of the boys? No, I have not heard of that. I also haven't seen any episodes of The Boys because it didn't really interest me at the time, and judging from what I've heard, it sounds like the show might not be for me, because it feels a lot more... Because from what I remember hearing, like, doesn't the creator of the show, like, really hate superheroes or something, and he kind of made that show to essentially be like, here's a nihilistic show of, making these superheroes... Yeah, it's much darker. Like... People were comparing Omni-Man to Homelander. Is that the dude's name? The guy that is essentially the Omni-Man of the boys. And you know, you want to make a subversive superhero show that turns the aforementioned thought heroes into bad guys, that's fine. You want to make them dicks, that's cool. Omni-Man would stomp Homelander. That would be an interesting death battle to see if I cared to watch Death Battle anymore, but yeah, I don't know what... I know Homelander has, like, probably has the flight and the super speed and strength, possibly strength, but I wouldn't know if whether or not he could kick Omni-Man's ass. That's a question I probably can't answer at all. I just realized what I did wrong. He's not used to fighting strong guys. Oh, he's used to picking on weaker people. Got it. So he's a major dick. He's not just a dick, he's a major dick. I love this music that's playing. It's so nice. But yeah, I remember hearing a discussion about it during a stream, and this guy was saying, like, yeah, Invincible's great, go check it out, I recommend it. But the caveats that were coming up interested me a little bit, because the caveat wasn't necessarily about how... I mean, obviously, a lot of it was around the violence, because Invincible and The Boys, I imagine, are very graphic shows in that way. You just said it's much darker than Invincible. But the discussion was more on how The Boys... essentially the wrongdoings of Omni-Man and, you know, why he was a villain and what made him such an effective... well, like the faults of him as a villain, but not from like a character perspective, but on more of a writing perspective. And I would respectfully disagree with some of the viewpoints that they shared. Like, that's not to say that, you know, they were wrong in thinking oh, Omni-Man, like, just viewing Omni-Man as like, lol, I bad guy head squish. or it'd be... or going on the uwu streamer side, it'd be like, I'd still have you this, pants grab. But the way that I would see Omni-Man's writing is someone who doesn't delight in being a tyrannical dick. Does that make sense? Like, the impression that I gained from Homelander from the clips that I have seen of The Boys, the one where he pushes someone off of a roof, the one where he laser eyes a bunch of pedestrians down, I think about those and I'm like, yeah, those are dickish things. Those are dickish things, no doubt. And then I think of, well, what Omni-Man does in the series. You know, he does the bad things to people, and I think, all right, but you don't see grins of delight, or you don't see him... like, despite all of the pain he caused people, he doesn't seem to... despite the pain that he's caused people, he's not relishing in their pain like, haha, look at these people, they're so shocked that I'm the person that they didn't think they were. Because he wanted to keep the charade up, not just for his mission, but because he was actually liking his time on Earth. He's a dude that had his reasons for doing the things he did. And that's essentially why I think he's a better villain, for one thing. It just makes more sense to me for a character to, yeah, do bad things, but not do bad things because they're a dick. They do these bad things because it's just a part of their nature, because they didn't know any other way that it would work out. like, Omni-Man, as I said, didn't... And this is me after I read the comics, too, speaking about this. So, what happened when I read the comics was that the detail brought up about Omni-Man was saying, alright, so I did actually start liking my time on Earth. I was making friends. I was doing all this. But when you started gaining your powers, it was the reminder that I can't just enjoy my time here. I have a duty to uphold. I am a proud Viltrumite, after all. So he did the thing, and then after he did the thing, he tries to keep the charade up. The charade falls away, and then, you know, it all just falls apart, and he's trying to recruit Mark to his side because in his mind, he's in the right. And in a sense, he kind of is right because, like, he's right in his mind because it's all he's known. But when he's taught the other perspective, he doesn't, you know, outright reject it or be like, hey, lol, I laugh at you because your opinions are stupid. No, he legit takes it to heart and, you know, does his thing. He leaves. So, basically, the difference that I find between Homelander and Omni-Man is that Omni-Man is a dude that did bad things, but for reasons that he believed were right. Homelander is a dick. That's just the deal there. That's my impression of what I imagine that's the major difference that I see between those two characters. Now, obviously, I'm not exactly confident of whether or not those were the correct ideas to put up, but it's what I'm going off of here. But yeah, I have one of the big compendiums of the Invincible comic, and I like it, though admittedly some of the differences with the characters are I would say definitely for the better when it comes to the show's changes. Like, the big one that I can think of is Mark's best friend, William. Yeah, William in the comics is kind of a douche. Like he is a douche with a capital bag in some cases. Like he just ugh. He's not a very nice person. He's not a very nice character. Like, he's still a friend to Mark, but he has some dickish tendencies. And yeah, I'd say they changed him in the show for the better. Like, for the far better. He's a far better character in the show compared to the comic. So, yeah. That is this guy's humble opinion on that matter. Sorry for the middle weird rant there. I don't even know what to set it off. It was just, it's just interesting to hear all these perspectives about how different people can see a villain have these character moments. Which I guess is testament to good writing. Bonk, 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 bonk. There we go. Okay, got that. And then bop. Wait. I don't have a key, do I? No, I don't. But yeah, Vox Machina show, I have not seen the finale yet, so I I mean, I'm not too, you know, anal about spoilers and things like that, but I guess just keep that shit out of the sphere, I suppose. I suppose. How am I... What am I meant to do with this? I think I have an idea. I may have it. I may have what some may say as an idea. Oh wait. Oh. No, it'll work out. Yeah. It works. There we go. There we go. Perfect. Kind of, if I can get it to... Is it? Eh? Can I not shove this thing to the left? Is it too far into the thing? Looks like it's too far into the thing. Okay then. Okay then. Turns out that's not the right way. Oh, I know. Let me try this. There. And then this thing can get shoved over here. Get that in, and then shove that. And shove that. I think I've made a terrible mistake. I think I've made a terrible error. Unless... I think I may have an idea. I'm gonna try something. This music is so nice to listen to. Whoever the composer for this game was, fucking great job. Great job to the composer. Alright, then it's this one. And then... Yes, I see. I see it now. Then shove that there. Beautiful. Okay, so then this next one... Oh, I see. I see now. I see it now. Every game has a water temple? Kind of. Kinda. A little bit. Actually, I just realized I haven't fed Zeppelin. Hey, another heart earned. And pet the dog. Always pet the dog. But yeah, not every game has a frustrating water temple. Just some that are more frustrating than others. Okay, so that's not gonna work. might need... I think I have an idea. Shove that over there. Yeah. That's what I'm supposed to do. There we go. And then shove that there. Then shove that over this way. And then... blah, and then... blah. Except not that way, because that blocks the passage. Move that, and then... there we go. That is a solved puzzle. I could have probably done that a bit faster, but... sometimes I just am a massive dope. Alright, now what is this way? So I've got some things to shove over this way. Something wrong with the dog? What the dog doing? Oh, dog need nap. Okay, dog need nap. Pupper need nap. Alright, so this one can get rid of... yeah. I think. Or did I just screw myself over? No, I didn't. Just making sure I'm doing this puzzle right. You good? You good, Zeppelin? You want more pets? God, it's like my actual dog. It's like my IRL dog. Trying to map out the push path that I'm supposed to be doing here. I don't need that. That one's not needed. I don't think I need that one either. I think I screwed myself over here. Alright, this one is easy. Just do push, then push, and then push. Now at this one... Oh, that's not moving. Okay, so there's a slight indent that prevents it from going if I do that. Maybe I had the right idea the first time around. And I can't push these, right? No, I can't. I can only break them. Ah! I see. I see what I meant to do now. I get it. I get it now. I totally get it now. Shove that, then shove that, then shove... Yeah, that should fit. Yeah, that should do it. I feel dumb for not getting this earlier. There. And then the other one goes. There we go. Got it. Took a second, but I did it. And a key. Now, do I go to... Let's go to the room right... Room right there. Unless I can't. Can I access it? Let's see. Okay. What is down here? Ah, enemies. Ow. I'm guessing that's... Oh! The Thunder Edge. I imagine this does paralyzing, right? This electrifying blade is capable of reducing enemies' defenses. Oh, I like that. Oh, and it looks like Travis Touchdown's weapon! It looks like Travis Touchdown's Bloodberry! Oh, I like that. That makes me happy. Okay. Even if it's unintentional, that makes me happy. Yeah. Yes, please. I love that. I have a weakness for No More Heroes references, so if that is a reference, fucking props. But if it's not a reference, I mean, at least it looks cool. It looks cool. That's the solace I can take in that. All right. Then there's this spot that had an elevator. And then there was this elevator that I actually didn't go up. And I guess for the boss fight, I'll have to swap guns to the ice grenade for my main sword, because I don't think the axe will do very well against the boss fight, I feel.
Ooh, excuse me, I just cracked my back again.
East Courtyard. Oh.
How's this place?
Okay, so 2, 3, and then 5 was over here. Racked a brain. Ooh, lump of bolts. I'll take that. And sell me some scrape. But nah, I don't really have anything. He doesn't have anything I really want. I'm so happy to have that spinner. It's so nice. Oh, hello. Ah. Ah, I see. I see. So that was just a route to get some extra meteor dust. Well, that's nice. That's a nice thing to have. And now I'm on the front area. So I think I could probably explore some past spots. Actually, now that I've got this frost grenade, I can do this now. Ooh, frost axe. Hey, I like that sound. Like the sound of that. And here we have West Courtyard. Okay, 2, 3, so 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, what is here? Max combination chip. Nice. That's good. Okay, and we are back to this spot. All right, well, we managed to find some shortcuts. That's nice. Okay. So we got that. And we still have the section to the right that we haven't taken a look at, so let's go take a look there. What's this way? I can't make it up those, so let's just go down. And this is the... Yep. This is a spot that I didn't get to before. Yeah. And that looks... I'm gonna try something. Okay, there is something that way. That was a mess up. Alright, what is in this chest? Spin attack damage increased by 50%. Okay, not bad. Balls. There. There we go. Alright, I'm actually going to go ahead and swap the blaster to the ice grenades. Oh, excuse me, to stretch. Because, since I'm actually since I'm fairly certain I'll be approaching the boss fight soon, I'll definitely need this on my main weapon. Never mind, I can't go there anyway. Cool. Cool all. I need to not sprint into my jumps. That's the bad idea. Why am I doing that? Why do I keep thinking that's a good idea? Oh, that's good! I like that. Lowering defense, please. Yes. Please, yes. Thank you. Yes. Okay. Ow. Alright, how much bolts I have? Oh god, I have a lot. I should probably cash these in before I forget to. Alright. What's this way? Okay, dog's not tired. Okay. Oh, hello. Oh. Ah, here's where the puzzle comes in. Okay, so it 1, 2, 3. Four, 5, 6. Oh my god. I somehow got that right the first time. Hell yeah. I'm a genius. Look at me, everybody. I'm a genius. Didn't even have to go find the other numbers. That was what I was concerned about. We meet again. It saddens me to watch this. You'll end up just like them. I'll end your suffering before it's too late. Oh, dang, she very thick. Oh. Worth it. Okay, so since... Yeah, that was my bad. I got a little overwhelmed there because, yeah. And also, turned out I do not need the other... I do not need the frost grenades for the fight. I just needed it for exploration purposes. Good to know. Where's the auto blaster? There it is. All right, so it was down this way. But yeah, having Zeppelin here to peck at the boss a little bit helps out a lot. Also, now I can totally see the reason as to why it would be better to get the... Alright. So, Alright. Well, I might have made a mistake. Might have. I don't know. This thunder weapon is really good, but... No, it's worth it. It was worth it. So essentially what I'm talking about is that, I'm not going to be getting another key for this area. So essentially what the game just did was like, hey, here's one final key. Are you going to use it to have a shortcut to the boss to make the trip back a lot less taxing or annoying for you? Or would you want to get it to have this super kick-ass weapon? And I decided to go with the weapon. Whether or not that was a good or bad choice is, I don't know, up to you guys to decide. Yeah. Oh my god, did I just... Oh, I love that I just did that. That's fantastic. Just need to whip that around. Never mind, that doesn't work. There we go. Okay. Beautiful. Okay. Well, of the ice/water temples that I have gone through in video games in the past, this one is actually... This one's not as bad as some of the others I've had to go through. This one I'd say was fairly nice. Probably helping matters is that I had a doggo by my side, and dogs make everything better. Ow. There we go. Yeah. I don't think I can deflect those. Ow. Okay, the only thing about this boss fight that's annoying is the ice physics. Like, I'm sliding around a lot. I can't make it over there. Probably should buy some disposable, or I can't make disposable syringes, right? No, I think it'd probably be a better call if I just... I think it'd be a better call if I just did this. Yeah. And actually, was there anything up here that I could do? Because there was this. Ah, so that's where you discover the sixth. The gates are closed. we are. And there we go. All right, got that. Is there a terminal somewhere around here that I could use? One that's a bit closer? Because this is just the shortcut up to there. I think my... Nope, doesn't look like it. Damn. All right. Yeah, doesn't look like it. Okay. That's fine. The trek's not too bad. It's just a little long. I just need to pay better attention. Ow. Yeah. Ow. Got it. Ow. Oh, shit. It's... Well, I'm getting it. I'm getting it now. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Maybe if I had the attack cog on, I could actually do it. Do I have one? Actually, do I have an attack cog? No, I have a syringe cog. Automatically fills your syringe. I could actually use that. That would be wonderful. There's a crafting station over there, so maybe I could make some cogs. Let's have a stamina cog. And attack cog. Sure, why not? Let's make a frost axe. We did it. Alright, and then... So we made a stamina cog and an attack cog. Yeah. Oh, let's do a disposable syringe. These are good. These are good to have on hand. And now that I can craft these, it's kind of nice to get them. I don't have to buy them anymore. I kind of wish that I could just have like a toggle that I kind of wish I could have some kind of meter that said like can't carry anymore. Oh, so I have a limited amount that I can carry. You know what? That's fine. That's fair. That'd be busted if I could just keep making these things. But yeah, what I would hope, or what I would like, is just the ability to say how many of these at once I'd like crafted. I don't know. That might just be a me thing. Maybe it's not too bad, but whenever there's a crafting system in a game, it's usually nice to be able to have like some kind of ticker, like some kind of arrow thing on the bottom that's like, if you have multiple of the components to make this one item, how many of this item would you like to make? That kind of thing. I don't know, it might just be a me thing. I love that I can cheese that. That's great. That makes this track over to the boss way better. Selector, that's the word I was looking for. I was thinking like a selector to bring up like, okay, you have multiple things of this item that can make an attack cog or something. How many of these would you like to make? And they obviously wouldn't let you make a huge amount of them, but like make it up to your capacity, I'd feel. I don't know, maybe for a future update or something, that's something to keep in mind. Like, I'm not trying to shove any ideas or anything, it's just little quality of life things can really go a long way when you're developing games. Also, I just realized that I should have deposited my fucking bolts, but I didn't. Oh well, I'll remember later. And then boop. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Ow. All right, I'm going to activate that for the next critical. Ow. 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 Spawning another fish? Nope. Yeah! Ow. Oh! The dog finished her off! Yay! Thank you, Zeppelin! Ballet is killed by rock. Killed by the power of rock. Good boy. That's a good Zeppelin. You deserve some pets and treats. Come here. You deserve some pets for that. Got a badass poodle here. There. Shard of the Frost automation is now in your hands. 2 remain. Alright, let's hope I don't get lost this time. Okay, what have we got? Wait for me, I'm so sorry I'm still not used to this new battle armor. It's so heavy. Maria. Maria! I can't stand this. Let's save her. We're so close. Don't be reckless, Raquel. We have to know what the humans are planning.
The humans. We have to make sure we don't destroy make sure we know what the humans are doing.
Why did the humans stick fish in these places? Because they ate fish, I guess? No, why would they? No. Because because sometimes we think fish look cool. Did eat some kinds of fish, yes, but aquariums are for education and entertainment. Those who want to learn more about the river and ocean life could come here to have a more vivid experience. Like the... I don't remember if it was an aquarium or a zoo, but I certainly got a vivid experience as to why penguins can be absolutely disgusting. Like, it was this moment where this lady, and this was years ago. I don't remember how old I was when I was witnessing this, but it was at the Houston Zoo, and it was a exhibit that had penguins in it, and I don't remember exactly if it was a aquarium or a zoo. Might have been a zoo because it was, it had penguins in it, and I don't think penguins are known for existing in aquariums. But we were at this exhibit, and I was seeing the penguins walking around, and
at the time, I was a big fan of the movie Pebble and the Penguin, and if you know that movie, yes. So I was like, yay, penguins. And this woman was like sitting next to the glass being like, oh, this is so nice. Look at how cute they are swimming around. And her face is really close to the glass, and then one swims up near where her face is, and before it goes to rocket off back onto the land that it was going to, it takes a shit in the water right in front of her. And she backs, and she just jolts, flies backwards, and just starts going like, ah! And all of her friends are laughing at her, and I was laughing. And then later on, I learned that apparently penguins don't smell very good, and I'm like, okay, so despite them being cute, they are very stinky. Also, fish are very pretty. These rooms make for some nice memories. Fish pretty. I'll go ahead this time. You? Come back here. Yeah, so Meteor Blade needs to be crafted to enter the tower. Which is the highways. Hey, Alma. I was looking all over for you. I don't know if you remember me, but I'm the one running the chip store back in the village, and I just had a breakthrough developing some new chips. Okay, good to know. Oh, he's only got 45 hours remaining. I ought to give him a boost. A little bit of a booster. Alright, where's the chip place? There it is. Give you some discounts. Axe chips, damage for axes, damage for swords. I'll think about it, but I'm gonna give him a couple. Give him some more dust, because apparently he and Alma watched a lot of anime together. So sure. My best friend, I know things aren't the way they used to be and we aren't that close anymore, but I really value spent together. Watch some old tapes. Maybe we'll watch Violence Jack. Upgraded chipboard allows users to equip chips. Wait, really? I don't have to be at terminals to upgrade my chips? Really? Oh, that's fantastic! Okay, so you need to level up your friendship with him ASAP. Oh, that's really nice. Ooh. Alright, let's get some chip slots. There we go. Got that settled. Let's get a stamina chip and another stamina chip. Yeah, nice long stamina bar. And now that I have frost grenades, I can see what's over this way. Alright, got that. Because, I mean, the guy only had 45 hours left. I might as well. Reload cogs, speed cog. Removes need to reload. I'll take one of those, yes, please. Ooh, that's a good one. Alright, that's another meteor dust found. How do I get to that one up there, though? Suppose we'll find out at some point. Let's see. I know I would like to upgrade a weapon if I can do it. That would be nice and handy. How many hours does she have left? Okay, plenty. Yeah, she's got a good amount of hours. Didn't mean to do that. Meant to do this. And buy some blueprints, maybe? Grenade, defense cog. She's got 120 hours. You have 95 hours. And let's upgrade the Thunder Age. And yes, Auto Blaster, because I've been using that a lot. Good. Good, 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 good. And this Anna girl... Okay, I didn't realize I could just buy keys. Cool. Surprising. Alright, I didn't know that. Alright, and I pretty much have all the weapons that he's got in stock except for the shotgun. Wait. No, I think I do have the shotgun already. Never mind. Never mind. What about learning to parry? Oh, you only have 80 hours left. And maybe if I get something good out of her. Since you've been such a great pupil and had a great... Take this as a token of friendship. Parry Master increases the strength of the user's attacks after a perfect parry. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. All right, how many foes I can parry at once? Damn it. Not very many. Nah. Okay. Got that. Alright. So, fastest way to increase friendship with people is to give them the Meteor Dust. Trying to think as to what I can do next. Might as well at least check out the highway stuff. You know what? I'm not going to go that way. Once your friendship meter is maxed, Zeppelin, I'm going to leave you here. Because there are other dogs to find. Alright. Deep woods, and then go up this way. Okay. Hey. Okay. And now it's the cave entrance to the first dungeon area. Yeah, I figured there'd be something over here. Okay. North clearing, and then we got the shortcut this way, so let's go up here. And now that we have the frost grenades, we can actually make it up there. God, this track is so good. There was also... Yeah, I think there was... All right. There. There we go. And then there was a thing... And I guess I figured out now how you'd be able to get to the aquarium early is if you had the grenade launcher or a grenade launcher, and were able to, able to break those boxes up or those stones. The stones. The wind, can you feel it? The boss. It's Prometeu? It's Prometeu? They're around here, you know, guarding the Meteor shard. I should give... There's only one heart that I need to get left for the... There. Are you sure? I mean, you don't need... Say that you're probably the best friend I've ever had. Aww. Hey, Iris, it's okay. You don't have to push yourself. No, really, it's fine. I used to be very afraid of other automations, especially the Unsighted, but I'll try to fight side by side with you from now on. I mean, really fight, you know. Oh, she'll actually attack enemies now. Oh, that's good. Damn, they really make you want to get people, you know, they really want to make you have friends. All right, and here we have more meteor dust. Always good to have that stuff. Okay, so the fourth meteor shard is actually over there. Okay, then. All right, well, I'm not entirely done exploring yet. There we go. Kind of want to explore a little more. And maybe not fall into the spots here. I love this track. It's so good. Like, the second I heard this track, I was like, oh, I think this is my favorite one in the game. It is just it slaps, as the newbies of the internet say. Oh, hello. I didn't realize they could shoot energy spheres. Hey. All right. Let's move this way. Oh, we have wind mechanics here. Okay. Haha. Okay, so the wind either picks up or dies down. Good to know. Ow. Okay. And we have the classic red-blue switcheroo. It probably has a different name, but I think I like red-blue switcheroo better. Alright. Do I have any... Nah, I think my chip setup's actually fine right now. Although... I will want to upgrade to get that Parry Master chip, because that shit's fucking... That shit sounds good. Also, damn, Irish just fucking beasting in those things. Okay, so that's blocked off. Grab that. Yeah, looks like I can't make it across anyway.
There we go. Okay, so that's impossible to pass. Well, not... I can't pass that. There was the chip and crafting stuff over that way. Just trying to recall what all else I can do. I guess I couldn't head down here, so let's take a look-see. Well, Untitled, the wind here seems to be a lot stronger than before. Okay. Ah, yeah, that. Okay. So that connects back to the ship shop from before. Ah, okay, I did not see that there. Oh, did it? Stop! Just let me grab this. Okay, got a key. Good. Need to wait for the wind, and... There we go. Got it. Okay. And there we have that. Pet dog. There's a locked door over there, so might as well go check that. Okay, there's an elevator that goes down this way, so let's go take a look there. Oh no, I've already been there. Okay. Ow. Okay, so there's one spot that in the first sort of area in the game that I remembered I wanted to at the very least revisit, and that is the church, since I believe I have the means of breaking down the door that barred where I was gonna try going to. Oh, come on. Alright, well, they also mark the rooms as to which ones are more windy. Okay, good to know, actually. That's actually really helpful. Yeah, this thing is really good for faster ground travel. It's really nice. Alright, and head to the library area. Excuse me, to crack my back. I've already been through this spot. Oops. Ow. Ow! Holy shit, Iris and the dog are just destroying these things. Holy shit. And another reload cog. Having effect cogs around is always useful. I'm gonna give that a try. Okay, that's a shortcut unlocked. Nice, nice. All right, East Library Hall. Also, yeah, having Iris be able to do damage is really helpful. That's actually really nice. I'm very happy about that. I'm very glad to know that the whole Meteor Shard thing is helping way more than just, like, you know, wanting to keep the characters alive. Alright, and shove this, and then move up this way. Hey, terminal. Alright, well I think finding this terminal is a good enough spot, if any, to end the stream here. So, yeah, I believe that will be all. Can't upgrade yet. But yeah, thank you all for joining me tonight. This was fun, getting to do a small little Unsighted stream, having some good old fun. This game is quite fun. I do encourage people to give it a try. If they do so decide that dear. And yeah, I'm gonna keep on with this because it's fun. It's fun and I like it. So yeah, just make sure to keep on Twitter for whenever I do my you know, my updates and everything, as well as here on Twitch. Some school stuff is being rearranged, so I could end up having more days I can stream or less, I don't know, but some situations are changing right now, and I'll just kind of keep you all posted as to what the major stuff is. So, yeah. With that said, thank you all for, you know, hanging out, and, you know, thanks again, Raze, for arising from the dead to hang out. And, yeah. Hope to see you in the next stream, everybody. Bye.